These aren't just rare motorcycles. They're bikes so exclusive that entire museums fight to own them. One was ridden by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Another was so ahead of its time that experts still can't explain how it exists. Let's count down the 10 rarest vintage motorcycles that will blow your mind. Number 10, 2016 Egli Vincent. This isn't just another Vincent. This is a modern masterpiece by the legendary Fritz Egli. But wait, you might be thinking, how is a 2016 bike considered vintage? Well, here's the twist. This represents the ultimate evolution of a racing legend that started in 1965. Fritz Egli began his journey after his stock Vincent Rapide failed miserably at Swiss Hill climbs in 1965. By 1967, he said, "Forget this," and built his own frame, birthing the Egli Vincent legend. This 2016 beast sitting in the Naked Racer Motor Co. Museum represents 50 years of Swiss engineering brilliance. This 1300cc Vincent V-twin pumps out over 100 horsepower through Egli's signature chrome moly tubular frame. With just 800 kilometers on the odometer, this bike combines Sirianni racing forks, Girling rear shocks, Brembo brakes, and a 5-speed gearbox. It's literally the DNA of 50 years of racing development built into one machine. And it might be the last true Egli Vincent ever created. Number 9, 1907 Indian Camelback V-twin. Now we're traveling back 116 years to witness the birth of American motorcycle power. This 1907 Indian Camelback isn't just an antique, it's the very first production V-twin ever built, beating Harley-Davidson by 4 whole years. The name Camelback comes from that distinctive humped fuel tank, a signature early Indian feature. But here's what makes this bike absolutely revolutionary. In 1907, while most motorcycles were basically bicycles with twin engines, Indian dropped a massive 633cc V-twin bomb that changed everything. This beast featured innovations that were pure luxury for 1907. An automatic oiler system so you didn't have to hand pump oil, a cushioned seat spring for those brutal roads, and a coaster brake for your only stopping power. Of the thousands produced, only 12 to 15 examples survived from that first production year, making this unrestored survivor absolutely priceless. Number 8, 1919 Trout. The 1919 Trout isn't just rare, it's the industry's most baffling enigma, and here's why this will blow your mind. This bike features engineering that was decades ahead of its time. We're talking helical cut gears in the transmission, overhead valve design, and aircraft-inspired frame geometry. These features wouldn't become standard until the 1940s and 50s, yet here they are on a 1919 machine. And the real mystery? 0 factory records exist. No patents, no advertisements, no company called Trout Motorcycles ever officially existed. Some experts believe it's a secret Harley-Davidson prototype. Others think it was built by a brilliant Chicago inventor named Richard Trout. But there's no proof either way. This 1300cc side valve V-twin sits permanently at Dale's Wheel Through Time Museum in North Carolina, still wearing its original paint and tires. It's a motorcycle that shouldn't exist. Yet there it sits, challenging everything we know about early 20th century engineering. Number 7, 1923 Harley-Davidson Boardracer. The 1923 Harley-Davidson Boardracer was built for one purpose: dominating the deadly board track circuits known as murder-dromes. Picture wooden velodromes where riders hit over 100 miles per hour on bikes with no brakes, no suspension, and absolutely no fear. The broad design featured wider frame rails for stability at insane lean angles, because when you're inches from certain death, every millimeter matters. This forgotten Speed King features a 1000cc F-head V-twin pumping out 25 horsepower, which was enough to hit 100 plus miles per hour on wooden planks. And remember, no brakes. Riders slowed down by rear tire skids or simply gravity. Here's the brutal truth. At least 14 riders died in 1922 alone on bikes exactly like this one. The carnage was so intense that the entire sport collapsed by 1931. While Indian's 8-valve racers stole the headlines, these Harleys were winning races and breaking bones in equal measure. Finding a survivor is incredibly rare since most were scrapped after the board track ban. Number 6, 1978 Kawasaki Z1R Turbo Stage 3. This isn't just any turbocharged Kawasaki. This is Billy Gibbons' personal Destroyer 2, representing the absolute pinnacle of 1970s turbo madness. In 1977, Kawasaki did something crazy. They partnered with American Turbo Pack to create the first factory-sanctioned turbo motorcycle. But here's the twist. These bikes were so experimental that they came with no warranty. They were literally disassembled, modified in California, then sold as good luck you're on your own machines. But Billy Gibbons wasn't just satisfied with any turbo bike. This ZZ Top guitarist demanded a Stage 3 build from RC Hill's Kawasaki in Orlando. We're talking 120 plus rear wheel horsepower from a 1015cc inline 4, nearly double the stock Z1R's output. And here's where it gets outrageous. Gibbons didn't just want performance, he wanted bling. This bike features 24 karat gold plated bolts, hardware, and accents throughout. This custom paint job reads Destroyer 2, named after one of his guitars. With forged pistons, welded and balanced crank, dual oil pumps, and just 6,000 original miles, this Stage 3 Turbo survived when most Z1R Turbos blew up quickly. Deep pockets and over-engineering saved this rock and roll relic. Number 5, 1905 FN Fabrique Nationale. The FN4 wasn't just advanced for its time, it was decades ahead, featuring innovations that wouldn't become standard until the 1950s. Fabrique Nationale, Belgium's legendary arms manufacturer, decided to build motorcycles in 1902. But in 1905, they dropped an absolute bombshell, the world's first production 4-cylinder motorcycle. While everyone else was still making motorized bicycles, FN built a proto-superbike. This 362cc inline 4 was water-cooled and produced 8 horsepower, which might not sound like much today, but in 1905, it was revolutionary. But wait, there's more! This bike featured shaft drive instead of chains or belts, safety rims to prevent tire blowouts, and get this, a one-lever stop system that cut ignition and engaged the rear brakes simultaneously. They basically invented an early ABS system in 1905. Here's the incredible part. This exact bike sitting in the Naked Racer Motoco Museum was found in a Sale Victoria Museum in 2019. It's the only known surviving example still running, 100% original and completely unrestored. Its patina tells the story of 118 years, and it's absolutely priceless. Number 4, 1979 Honda CB750 Mad Max 1. Discovered by Johnny G of Naked Racer Moto Co., this bike initially didn't seem special, but then the seller revealed its secret. This was a genuine Mad Max stunt bike, complete with original parts and memorabilia. For years, this was the only verified Mad Max 1 vehicle at fan reunions. The transformation from standard CB750 to Wasteland Warrior is incredible. We're talking Star Mag wheels replacing stock spokes, custom twin-disc front end, bikini fairing, Triumph Trident oil cooler for the Australian heat, and that aggressive Kirker 4-into-1 exhaust system, plus S&W rear shocks, Jerix electronic ignition, and flat bars for that aggressive riding stance. But here's what makes this bike truly special. It comes with NOS spares and factory components saved by the original owner. The Kirker exhaust alone is the holy grail for CB750 collectors, but paired with its movie history, this bike is absolutely priceless. Number 3, 2003 Indian Chief Terminator 3. This 2003 Indian Chief is the actual bike ridden by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, and it still retains its original police lights, sirens, and movie-used electronics. But here's the fascinating backstory. Indian Motorcycle had been dead since 1953 until California Motorcycle Company revived the brand in 1998. By 2002, they redesigned the engine with a distinctive bottle cap cylinder head, which you can see on this exact bike. The 1638cc Power Plus V-twin produced 92 horsepower and weighed 320 kilograms, making it perfect for its 250-pound Terminator rider. The original movie electronics are still fully functional. Imagine hitting those police lights and sirens today. But here's a tragic twist that makes this bike incredibly rare. Those beautiful bottle cap engines had a fatal flaw. Assembly issues led to catastrophic engine failures that forced CMC into bankruptcy in 2003. Most of these bikes were destroyed by their own engines, making survivors like this Terminator bike doubly rare. After its Schwarzenegger fame, this bike was repurposed for the Cat in the Hat movie, giving it dual Hollywood credentials. It's one of the most recognizable motorcycles in cinema, and finding one that actually runs today is like discovering buried treasure. Number 2, 1937 Brough Superior SS100. The 1937 Brough Superior SS100 earned the title Rolls-Royce of motorcycles through unrivaled craftsmanship and exclusivity that puts modern supercars to shame. Here's what made George Brough's creation so special. Every single SS100 was custom built to order, and each came with a written guarantee to hit over 100 miles per hour. That's where the SS100 name comes from, and in 1937, that was absolutely mind-blowing performance. T.E. Lawrence, better known as Lawrence of Arabia, owned 7 Brough Superiors and called them the best motorcycle ever built. Tragically, he died riding one in 1935, cementing the bike's place in history forever. The craftsmanship was obsessive. Each aluminum fuel tank took over 100 hours to hand polish. Frames were brazed rather than welded for maximum strength, and depending on the model, you could get JAP or matchless 996cc V-twin engines producing up to 55 horsepower. With only 69 SS100 models ever produced between 1924 and 1940, finding one today is like discovering the Holy Grail. A 1939 SS100 sold for over $600,000 at auction, proving that legends only appreciate in value. Number 1, 1952 Vincent Black Shadow. The 1952 Vincent Black Shadow isn't just the rarest bike on our list, it's the machine that redefined what a motorcycle could be and held the world speed record for over 2 decades. With only 1,774 units ever made, this British masterpiece represents the peak of motorcycle engineering. But here's what makes the Black Shadow truly legendary. Its racing variant. The Black Lightning shattered records in 1948 when Raleigh Free hit 150.31 miles per hour at Bonneville Salt Flats. And get this, he did it naked, wearing just a bathing suit for better aerodynamics. The performance figures are staggering even by today's standards. 998cc air-cooled V-twin producing 55 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just 4.5 seconds, and a top speed of 125 miles per hour. That made it faster than most cars of the era and the world's fastest production bike for over 20 years. But the real genius was in the engineering. Vincent used the engine as a stressed member of the frame, reducing weight and vibration. The Girdrolic front fork combined hydraulic dampening with girder precision, Cantilever rear suspension absorbed bumps effortlessly, and double drum brakes with cooling fins provided stopping power that matched the acceleration. Finding a Black Shadow today can cost over $150,000, and that's if you can find one. The example at the Naked Racer Motor Cove Museum represents the absolute pinnacle of motorcycle history. A machine that was decades ahead of its time and remains jaw-droppingly impressive today. So, there you have it. Motorcycle Maniacs, the 10 rarest vintage motorcycles that prove two-wheeled legends never die. They just become priceless. Now I want to hear from you. If you could own just one of these legendary bikes, which would it be and why? Drop your answer in the comments below, and while you're there, smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into motorcycle history.